Hey, it's Tom from Texas, and it's time for another floppy deep dive. And tonight we're going back and doing some retro gaming. When I first started the floppy deep dive, I wanted to go through all the floppies that I collected when I was a kid. And I thought it would be really cool to be able to share that with everybody. And I started off doing it all on Facebook and doing posts on my different floppies that I have. And it kind of evolved into the floppy deep dive and doing videos. And so now I have gone through a whole case, most of those on Facebook posts, not so much as videos, but now I'm on case 2. So I'm going to start on there. This series here I just call bite-sized floppies, where I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to check out the different games on floppies, going through my case number 2, just sharing the games with them. Some of them will be great, some of them will suck, some won't work at all. But I want to check them out. I wanted to share it with you guys. So pull up a chair, grab a joystick, and let's get started. Let's play these games. First, we're going to be looking at Battle Through Time, and if you played this game before, you had to play it on the Commodore 64 because they did not make this game for any other system besides Commodore. If you look at it, you could tell that it's similar to like Moon Patrol. You got to drive through your car, driving the Jeep through the landscape and jumping over potholes and obstacles, and got to shoot at the enemies that are on the ground and in the sky. In harder levels in the background that could turn into a mountain would be a volcano shooting up fire and making potholes right in front of you. So it could be a challenging game, but it was one of my favorites that I like to see how far. And you had to get 10 miles in each level to be able to go on to the next level. And there were 7 different levels. There was World War I and World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, World War III, War Mutations, and then takes you back to the beginning where it was like dinosaurs and stuff again. And the cool part was each of those levels had its own unique music. In fact, one of them had the Darth Vader theme as the song. So as you went along, you were fighting different things, you had different music, different themes, and it was just a very, very cool game for its time. And I give this one 2 thumbs up. So next we're going to be looking at Drol, which was a game that came out in 1983, and it was originally written for the Apple II by Benny Akbingnow. I don't know if I said that right or not, but anyway, and then it was ported over to the Commodore 64 and so the platforms it was on was Apple II, the Atari 8-bit, Commodore 64, PC, SG-1000, and the Amiga. So in this game, you're a player that controls a robot that flies through this 4-story maze, and you got to rescue peoples and animals while avoiding the baddies, the traps, and the alien creatures, and the snakes, and the eagles, and the magnets, and the axes, and all this stuff coming at you. And there's only 3 levels, but the game just keeps starting over and over, and it's more difficult as it goes. So in the 3rd level, some of the versions, in order to reach the final floor, you got to get there without getting eaten by a plant sprouting out of nowhere. So you got to choose from 3 different trap doors and make sure the correct trap door is the one that you go through. And it varies game to game, so you have to have some luck involved to be able to solve it. And this game, for it to port over to all the different games and even port over to the Amiga, it's all the way up to 1991 when it was originally released in 1983, says something about it, that it did have people who enjoyed it, who played it quite a bit, for them to keep porting it over. So I enjoyed this game. I thought it was fun. I remember playing it quite a bit when I was a kid. It's pretty simple to play. Pretty simple to learn and just start the game. And I like those games where you can just grab the joystick and start playing and figure it out. So again, I give this one 2 thumbs up. So next we're going to look at 3D Scramble on the 64 that's on my floppy. And this game, it's based on the arcade game Scramble, where you got to fly over the surface of planets and avoiding and shooting and dropping bombs on various enemies as you fly across. And then you also got to keep an eye on your fuel to make sure that you got plenty of fuel while you're doing, and if you lose the fuel, you lose a life. So it's very Zaxxon-like. I like the music to it. I thought the music was pretty cool. The game's actually kind of fun. I enjoyed it. I don't like the flickering of graphics when you're playing the sprites when it flickers like that. It always drives me a little bit crazy, but I did enjoy playing this game. I thought it was another cool one. So far, this floppy is 3 for 3. So let's go ahead and look at some more gameplay and let it play for a little bit, and then we'll move on to the last game. So last we're going to be looking at Mark the Barbarian. And in Mark the Barbarian, you actually play in 2 characters. You play Mark and you play Cinta, who's being held captive in a magical cave, and he's got to go rescue her, and you got to avoid these rats, and you're basically lost in these series of caves looking for your magic sword, and then you got to locate her to set her free. And then while all these dangers are going on around you and so forth, and then she has to defend herself, so you gotta listen up there to see when the bats and so forth are attacking her, so Cinta must do it. So this is one of the first games where you had 2 characters that you had to control at the same time, and basically it's something that was a new concept, and this one was released on multiple systems too. It came out on the VIC-20, it was here on the Commodore 64, the Atari 2600, and some other systems, the ColecoVision. And I can honestly say I'm not a huge fan of this game. I just didn't like the movement, how you had to time it to be able to move around, and maybe I was just not doing it right. But to get through those holes and so forth, I just found it aggravating. Was not my favorite gun. This one I would give a thumbs down. So 3 of the 4 I gave thumbs up to, but this one just wasn't my cup of tea, and didn't really enjoy playing it. So that's all the games. So let's wrap this up. Hey, so I hope you enjoyed this bite-sized floppy tonight and watched the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Let me know what you think. Like I said, got a lot of floppies to go through, and I'll be sharing a lot of retro games with you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Brings back some memories from your childhood or the first time you ever saw any of these games at all. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. And until next time, thank you for joining me on another Floppy Deep Dive.